Hello there, and welcome to Crazy Matt's Outlandish Theories on Pokémon.
That guy's crazy.
He's crazy!
And I have with me Spyro, who's only slightly crazy, and Blaze, who is a nut job.
I'm off the rails.
Completely off the rails. So,
Off the reservation, you might even say, if you were Sam Ordine.
Who's Sam Ordine?
Dude. Anyway, Pokemon, crazy theories.
Pokemon Outlandish Crazy Theories. So the first one, it's not a very big theory as such, but the first theory that I have is that Gengar is the shadow of a Clefairy.
That's meant to be true. That I've read that as part of trivia, not like a theory. That's actually meant to be true.
I don't think it is, but I don't.
It looks just like him.
It does look just like it.
Yeah.
But if it was the shadow of a Clefairy, where the hell's the Clefairy it's making the shadow?
That's why it's a ghost. Burn.
Maybe it's the shadow of a dead Clefairy?
I think there are more problems in Pokemon than answering that. Like, if Cubone's skull is meant to be its mother's skull, then how come there aren't a lot less Marowaks around? And how come it doesn't look like a Marowak skull? And how come it's bigger than a Cubone's head if it was a Cubone skull? You know, there are other things that we could point out, but we just leave it.
It's a bigger Cubone.
So then when the Cubone grows, how does the skull grow if it's a skull of someone else?
Yes, that's true.
You know.
And how does when the Cubone evolves, why does the skull change as well?
Exactly. But we're not even going to get into that. So I don't think that we should mention about whatever it was you were complaining about. Oh, the shadow. Yeah.
This isn't one of Crazy Matt's Outlandish Theories then.
No, it's Crazy Adam's Outlandish Theory.
Cool. It's a cat. Cout. Go on.
So, Gengar is the shadow of a cat.
Yes.
Is that what we've come to?
A cat fairy.
Meow?
Like a Clefairy.
Yes.
Meowth in a tutu.
Oh my god.
Oh dear. Okay, so another kind of odd theory, which may or may not be true, as John says, is that the mushrooms on Paris back, when it evolves, they get bigger. It takes over the whole thing. And that the mushrooms itself are sentient. And that as Paris grows and evolves, eventually the mushroom takes over the little crab thing's body.
Also, that's meant to be true. Because if you look at it, its eyes have gone yellow, as in they are being the insect itself is being controlled by the drugs that the mushroom is producing.
Yep, so there's another one, which it's not true because it's not in the Pokédex. But then there are lots of stupid things in the Pokédex.
Hey, in the Pokédex, in Generation 1, they say that Farfetch'd is a rare Pokemon because people often eat it with the leek that it carries.
That is true.
That's a far-fetched theory.
No, it's Dexter says it. Ignore him.
The pun.
It's genuinely true, that's a far...
Anyway, I'm just debunking all of your things. Not only debunking, I'm proving them right.
Yeah.
It's weird, because he's Crazy Matt, and these are outlandish.
I know. No, this is the thing.
They're not that outlandish.
Hopefully, these are going to get more outlandish as time goes on.
Okay, so the next one we've got is regarding Mew.
Mew, 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 mew.
I think I might know this one.
In the game,
I think we all know this one.
is a clone of Mew.
Yes. Maybe they tried to clone him before that.
Maybe. And there are many, many, many failed clones around him that have the ability to breed with absolutely everything.
Maybe they have the same base stats as well.
I wonder if they've got the same move.
We're ruining this for him. Carry on.
But they also have the same non-shiny and shiny sprite.
It's true. And they're the same colour. Ish.
Indeed. Ish.
This sounds rather outlandish.
Okay, so
I agree with what you say, Adam. Ditto.
Hey.
So Mew is supposed to be, and this ties in with the next one I have, supposed to be one of the first Pokemon created. It's supposed to be a Pokemon that brings life and stuff.
Cool.
The Pokemon that created him, along with the majority of the legendary Pokemon, is Arceus, who is supposed to be God.
Alright.
Pokegod.
So Arceus created... Arceus laid an egg, and out of the egg came 3 Pokemon. Dialga, who controls time, Palkia, who controls space, and Giratina, who is supposed to be Satan
Cool.
in the Pokemon mythology, as he went on a rampage and Arceus banished him to the Distortion World, which is kind of like hell.
Huh.
So what we're saying here is a 10-year-old with a Pokeball can catch God.
And also Satan. And also,
Satan, yeah.
I suppose Mew would be Jesus, I guess.
Oh god.
Muses.
Muses Christ.
And
Or Gmu. We'll shorten him to... No, never mind.
so, what would that make Mewtwo? The clone of Jesus.
Clone of Jesus.
And in Christian mythology, what is that?
Um,
Is that the second coming? Yeah.
Yeah, Mewtwo is the second coming.
Yeah, it's Mewtwo, the sequel.
well, wouldn't
Second
Mewtwo
coming.
be like... No, I suppose, yeah, he would. Well, there we go.
So we're going with this. Pokemon Outlandish Theory.
This one
Mewtwo
is
the
actually
second
quite
coming.
outlandish and crazy.
There we go. See, it gets better, don't worry.
He's getting more mad as it goes by.
I am getting...
What's going on?
He's crazy in the coconut. What does that mean?
I actually have no idea. Maybe we'll discuss that next time on Crazy Matt's Outlandish Theories.
The Coconut Edition.
You got any more mental things to say? You
I do.
mentalist?
I do have a couple more theories for you.
Okay.
So one of the more popular ones is the fact that in the Pokemon world, there are very few adults.
And when they do exist, they all look the same.
Well, that as well. But there are very, very few
And
adults.
someone mentioned something, don't they, which is sort of... And it's like the electric gym leader. Is that where you're going with
Yep.
this?
LT Surge.
Lieutenant Surge. So the theory is that it also explains why there are checkpoints between each of the like big cities where you have to go through to get to the next one.
Oh, yeah.
Theory is that there was a war between different regions and different cities in the Pokemon world, and the only adults that are left are survivors of the war, like Lieutenant Surge and the hikers who want to be by themselves and climb up in the mountains. And
They escaped.
women, the hundreds of women, Officer Jenny, Nurse Joy, your mum,
To your mum. Oh, and don't forget Officer Jenny and Nurse Joy.
and Officer Jenny and Nurse Joy,
Mm.
and Officer Jenny and Nurse Joy from Vermilion, and professors and gym leaders who mostly seem to be quite young.
It's true.
This
Like,
is
I think Misty's only supposed to be like in the game. I think she's only 14.
I thought she was only slightly older than Ash.
In the cartoon, she is. I think in the game, she's supposed to be a bit older.
And Brock's only like 15 or 16, just under the age of conscription.
Mm-hmm. So that's the theory that there's all the reason. It's also the reason you can't in Gold and Silver. You cannot fly between Kanto and Johto.
Because there's a no-fly zone.
Train, or go through the checkpoints at Victory Road.
Because of the no-fly zone and the anti-aircraft missiles that will take down your Pidgeot.
Indeed.
That's what I heard.
But it's quite an interesting theory, especially with Lieutenant Surge. Although why he's called the Lightning American, I have no idea.
Yeah. There are other sort of problems I have.
Because he shocked his enemies into submission.
No, it's the whole American thing that I think is the issue.
Yeah.
Like, in the anime, there are parts where Misty refers to going to France and Paris. So it's like, oh, so does this actually exist? Because I know, all the regions are meant to be specific regions in Japan. So
Except for Black Unova is supposed to be based on... Well, it's mostly the main city, Castelia, the big one. It's supposed to be based on New York. But Unova itself is supposed to be based partly on America.
Okay.
And in the new games coming out, X and Y, the new region, Kalos, is supposed to be based on Europe.
Huh.
Which is why in some trailers you can see an Eiffel Tower looking building.
Ah. This may be the Paris that Misty was talking about.
Maybe she went to Kalos before Kalos was existing.
But she did specifically call it Paris, France.
There could be the Paris, France in Kalos.
I heard there's a Paris in some of
Maybe
the...
Nintendo couldn't get the rights.
Maybe. Who knows? Who knows?
Maybe Nintendo couldn't get the rights to Paris.
That one's not that crazy. this theory. I think it could be true.
Yeah, it's
What,
not
my
that.
theory?
No, not you.
No.
Oh, the war theory.
The war theory. You're just mental.
So I suppose these aren't really outlandish, crazy theories. They're more.
Come on, I'm sure you can top that. Be crazier.
Okay, so the last one I've got is more to do with the anime than the games, and this is one that me and John have read, and probably
destroying your childhood in 3, 2, 1. Go for it.
Sending me into a spiraling depression.
I often send people into a spiraling depression.
Oh dear.
See, just like that.
The depression.
Childhood destroyed. That was it. That's what destroyed the childhood. That joke destroyed everyone's childhood.
Not just
it rippled through time and destroyed everybody's childhood. Well done, you.
Okay.
Sorry, Matt. Go on.
So, in the do you remember the beginning of the anime, Adam?
I do.
I don't know. It's been a while.
Okay, so Ash gets his Pikachu.
Pikachu.
Yeah. He's going along and he tries to get Pikachu to fight a Pidgey. And Pikachu's like, no, go fuck yourself. So he throws a rock at the Pidgey and hits a Spyro. Are you laughing?
Yep.
John?
No.
Oh, it sounded like someone was giggling. So yeah, when the Spyros chase Ash, there's a massive thunderstorm. Ash falls off his bike and smashes his head. And Pikachu...
I know this theory now.
Yep.
Carry on.
From this point on, and this is where the theory starts, everything that happens to Ash after that is a fever dream, or he is in a coma. Every character he meets after that point, except Misty, who he met once when he stole her bike, represents a different part of his 10-year-old subconscious.
Yeah. So like, Brock represents...
It's his sexuality.
Yeah. That's why Brock pervs on everything.
And it's why Brock goes away at one point.
It's also why all the nurses and all the officers look the same.
Because it's the ones that he knew from his town.
Yeah.
Though, do you know the actual reason why Brock disappeared for a bit? The animators thought that people would find Brock's eyes too racist, so they got rid of it. But then when they found out that people actually didn't give a damn, they brought him back because he was a good character.
Brock is probably the best character they have. Ash is a whiny little shit, but Brock...
It's true.
To be fair to Ash, he's in a coma.
Yeah.
But it explains like all of the characters that he meets, and it's the only way that a regular 10-year-old boy who couldn't even control a Pikachu would get as far as he could in the Pokemon leagues and go to all these different places. And it's why
it explains a lot.
It does. It's why also, like, as long as he can keep imagining Pokemon, he can keep finding reasons to go to new regions.
And that's why we keep getting new generations. It's like, there's only 150 Pokemon. Hey, we found more.
Yeah, it's just, we just found them. They were over there, over that pond. See that place there, Johto? There's a load more over there.
Because it doesn't make sense how he could get into the top 16 of the Indigo League, and yet no one knows of him in these other regions. It's so that he can always have something to strive for. You know, he wants to be the very best. He's always starting at the bottom, while he always sort of resets. It's so the story can keep going in his mind, and he doesn't have to wake up.
Does he ever grow old?
And that's also that.
That's another reason. Although I did read an interesting article about him not growing up, and it actually made a lot of sense without being in a coma.
Oh, which is?
So basically, it's to do with anime time periods and manga time periods. So, say an episode of an anime comes out once a week.
Yeah.
Certain episodes of that anime might be a span across 5 or 6 episodes, but it's only in the space of an hour.
This is the Dragon Ball Z theory, where they can,
I was going to say like Dragon Ball Z.
They can charge and attack for 5 episodes, and but only 5 minutes have passed.
Yeah. So basically, it's not that Ash hasn't grown old. Even though the anime's been going on for over 10 years now, it's just that realistically, only a couple of years have passed for him.
Right.
Which is why he now has teeth.
Teeth?
Yeah, if you notice, when he smiles in the the original anime, he doesn't actually have teeth. He just has a big, upside down D with a tongue.
Okay.
But in the more recent animes, like Best Wishes and I think Advanced, he has teeth.
Huh.
Which makes him look a bit older. His eyes are different.
They have changed the style. I was seeing some of the black and white Unova stuff, and he looks different. The anime style completely seems to have changed. Like the palette they're using, the colour's different. And
actually, I wish they hadn't changed the voice actors.
I was going to say, everyone has a new voice.
Better.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does look so much older than the new ones. I didn't Google that. I just knew. Yeah.
But, then that's why it's more to do with anime times than our time. So for him, he's done. But again, that could tie into the coma thing, because he's done all of these things, conquered like hundreds of regions in 2 years.
True. Does make sense.
So it's also not so outlandish again.
Yeah, but I mean, with the coma one, there's so much more involved in it. Like it's creepypasta, isn't it?
It's creepypasta. There's also I think the website I found it on was, I think it was called Video Game Theories or Video Game.
I mean, provide a link to it in the link down below. But yeah, definitely people should go and read this if you want your childhood to be destroyed about Pokemon. It's definitely worth a read.
And many other things. There were lots of other.
Oh yeah, I remember reading loads of theories on this site, but it was
the way
the one I remember the most was Sexual Ambiguity in the Brave Little Toaster.
Yeah, that was a podcast title. One of our first podcasts.
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah.
But that was one of the articles.
The worst thing about the Pokemon theory is the ending of that theory.
Yeah.
Do you remember? That was like, what?
About him just letting go.
Yeah.
With his mum trying to wake him up and them taking him off life support. Yeah, that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think silence confirms that that's what I meant.
Yeah.
So it's not so much outlandish and crazy, but just depressing and soul destroying.
That one is very, very depressing.
What have you done, Matt?
And on that note...
Yeah, on that note, we're going to have to stop now because you're making everyone kill themselves because Pokemon is a lot darker than we remember it.
It's almost as bad as that time Wash died.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, that isn't cool. We're all here having a good... Well, not really a good time, but you've just made it worse.
I'm sorry. I think we should say goodbye to everybody.
Goodbye, and try not to kill yourself.
And remember, be careful of shadows, because there may be Gengars.
It's true.
Or Clefairies.
It's Clefairy.
Clefairy. Same thing.
Adam, do you even like Pokemon?
What?